Hey everyone, it's Jenny at JC Cards and I'm so pleased to be joining you today as part of another Save the Crafty YouTuber hop hosted by Justine Hovey. I've given a link to all of the details over on Justine's blog down in the description box below, as well as the next stop on the hop. There are tons of prizes to be won. If you're going to take part, all you have to do is hop along, leave comments, be sure to indicate if you're from the US or international, and above all else, have fun and discover some new crafters. So today I'm going to be creating this cute shaker card. It's using a rainbow die and cloud dies from My Favourite Things, along with some of my favourite sequins from Catherine Pooler. So I'm going to show you how I created it. First off, I've die cut from some £110 Nina Solar white cardstock this rainbow. I like to do it from white cardstock. I want to make them all different colours. You could, of course, use your card scraps, but I find it easier just to use some Copic markers to quickly and easily scribble on that colour. And I'm using the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple for my rainbow today. Once that's done, I've set them aside. I did go round the edges as well, just to make sure there wasn't any white showing. And now I'm going to create my card panel. So I have a A2 size panel of Canson XL cold press watercolour cardstock here. I find it easier for doing ink blending on, don't get so many of those blender marks. And the ink I'm using today is Crisp Dye ink from Altenew. This is Cloudy Sky because of course I had to. And I'm blending it on with this blender brush. This is from Tailored Expressions. Kind of loosely, in from the corners, in from the side and up from the bottom, just to kind of create almost like a cloudy sky. And then I'm, for good measure, going to add some splatters just with some water and blot it off just to give a little bit of interest. And I've die cut it with a stitch rectangle die. Now I'm going to be die cutting my panel with the stitch clouds from My Favourite Things, and I'm just going to line them up. Now I have to be sure not to hang them off the edge because this is a shaker card. It makes it a little trickier if you don't have a fully enclosed shape. And I'm just using the largest bow on my rainbow to line up that middle cloud, because you'll see why a little bit later on. I'm then going to add them with a bit of tape and die cut them out. Now for my shaker, I'm using this embossable window plastic by Judykins. You don't need to use this one, any acetate will do. And then I've trimmed it down to size, and I'm just going to adhere it on the back of my cardstock with some liquid adhesive. And I love this huge block from Catherine Pooler just to lay over the top while it dries. Now I've got my roll of 3M tape here. It's actually inch wide tape, foam tape. And so I've reeled off a large section. I find this the easiest thing to do to create shaker cards. And this foam tape is quite thin, so I like to double it up. I'll fold it over on itself, and then I'm looking for long, thin strips. So I've got some super sharp scissors here, and I'm going to cut it into 3 strips and then remove all of that tape from the first strip. I'll then go around the edge of my shaker card first with the foam tape. And I did see that just where those clouds are very close to the edge, I did have to trim down my foam tape a little bit thinner just to make sure that it fit without being seen behind that cloud window. Now, the trick on these is I'm going to make 3 separate little, almost like pockets for my shaker bits. You want to go round with that tape. It'll bend perfectly if you remove that paper from it, and create these little pockets to add your sequins in. You don't want any gaps. So even if your tape doesn't end up being quite long enough to go all the way around those clouds, make sure that your next piece butts straight up against the first piece so you don't have any gaps. And these are the 3 sets of sequins that I'm using. They're all from Catherine Pooler. I love the way that she names her sequin mixes after places in the US. It's really fun. So I'm using Aspen, Crater Lake and Glacier Bay, and I'm adding a pinch of each of them into each of my cloud pockets. And you've got to be careful not to overfill them too much. I think I could have got away with adding a few more sequins in than I did on the shaker, but I think less is better than more. When you have too many, they kind of stick together, scrunch up, and it doesn't shake so well. But I love these mixes. The Aspen one has some iridescent snowflakes in it. The Crater Lake has some gorgeous clear sequins in it of all different sizes, and then the Glacier Bay has some mixes of blue which are perfect for a cloudy sky. I'm then going to back it with some more £110 white cardstock, and then because I didn't quite get it lined up, which is quite tricky to do, I just trimmed it down a little bit, and then I'm popping it onto a white note card base. Now to add my rainbow, you'll see that I lined it up previously. I'm lining it up again, and I want to trim that rainbow just at the point where it butts up against the cloud. So it's going to look like that rainbow is shooting straight out of one of my clouds. So I'm going to add some liquid adhesive and then pop it directly onto the panel just so that it pops right against that cloud outline. Another way you could do this is to create your rainbow, just lay it all together on your craft mat, adhere it at the back with some tape, and then die cut the end with that same cloud die, and you'd get it to line up perfectly. However, I thought this was just as easy, and I can just use my scissors just to trim away those edges, and it looks almost exact once the piece is finished. And I'm just going to line them all up, go down all of the colours, and you'll see in between I'm using another Catherine Pooler acrylic block just to lay over the top and make sure that glue dries flat. And then just adding the last two pieces on, finish with the purple. And I wanted to trim off the edge of the rainbow, and I'm trimming it against the card base itself, so it looks like once I've trimmed it off that rainbow has shot out of the cloud, and then it's actually overlapping the border of the card base. I thought that was a fun little touch just to add. And then to finish off, I'm using a sentiment that I'd already had stamped and heat embossed on black cardstock. It was embossed using the Wow Metallic Silver super fine embossing powder, which is one of my favourite embossing powders from Wow. And it's actually a Tailored Expression sentiment strip sentiment with a matching die just on black cardstock, and I popped it up on some foam tape at the bottom, and handily it covered up a little ink smudge that I'd had that was bothering me. And I couldn't really leave that rainbow without a bit of sparkle, so I'm using a clear sparkle pen from Nuvo. And then as a finishing touch, I'm going back in with some of those Crater Lake sequins, adding some blobs of liquid adhesive all around the card, and then popping up those sequins. And that finishes my card, a really fun shaker card, really something to brighten your day. Maybe it's not going so well right now with everything that's going on, and I just wanted to kind of do something that was fun and happy. And that finishes my card. Be sure to head on over to the next stop on the hop and check out all the wonderful crafters. Leave a comment, consider subscribing to my channel if you've not been here before, and have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Bye.